Hey dude, it's me, your pal, Lux ATL, and today I just want to tell you a story from my life, a true story from my life. Today I want to tell you how I went from stripper to CEO. It was a wild ride, bro. This is not an advice column. This is not a prescription or a step-by-step on how to do it. I'm just here to tell my story. Maybe you could draw a little inspiration. Maybe you can learn from some of my mistakes. Maybe you can learn from some of my wins. Tell you one thing, I'm gonna try not to do all this motherfucking pacing and shit that I tend to do, but no promises, bitch. Let's get into it. By the way, thank you for your time and attention. Much appreciated. If you know anything about me, you probably know I started stripping a long motherfucking time ago, back in 1999 when I was 18 years old. And that line of work was my primary employment on and off for 16 whopping years until I finally retired in 2015 when I was 34 and a doctor, PhD, not an MD. A wife, a mother. In the meantime, by the way, I also got 3 degrees. I did become a PhD in English. Thought I was going to be an English professor. There's actually no jobs for English professors, and the professional landscape was bleak. I thought that I was going to get all these degrees, bro, and then I would, obviously, the stripping would be done because I would be a famous writer. I would be an English professor. I would definitely have like a wood paneled office. Can you believe what I believed? I watched too many movies. I think it was some Dead Poet Society or something that got me thinking about what English teaching was like. It was none of those things. And so I got the PhD and I took a postdoctoral appointment at Georgia Tech teaching. You had to renew that shit, like reapply every year, man. And the time was coming to reapply. And you know what? I just said, I'm fuck this shit. Because, at best, bro, I was going to have to beg somebody to hire me in the middle of bumfuck Kansas somewhere. I didn't want any of that. I nonetheless had to make money straight away because I was a mom, I was married, I have to contribute financially to this family. So I did what I always do when times were tough or uncertain. I went back to stripping. My husband was not a fan. Can't blame him. He was cool. He wasn't a dick about it. Though he had every right to be. Because I was just forcing on him what the fuck we were about to do. Which has been a character flaw of mine from time to time. A little bit forceful. I have heard, don't believe. Anywho, I went back to stripping as a PhD. In fact, actually, I went back to stripping when I was finishing my PhD. I danced on tables the night I defended my doctoral dissertation. Can you believe it? And it turned out that stripping was making me more money with much less work, and I would be able to spend the time I wanted to with my kid, and I'd be able to stay in Atlanta. I wouldn't have to beg and plead for some random ass university in bumfuck to maybe give me a temporary appointment. No fucking thanks. I don't want that. I don't care about teaching composition that much. I figured there's got to be another way, and I didn't know what the fuck it was, but I decided I'd take a little bit of time and try to figure it out. So, I went back to stripping. Anywho, the internet was getting all big. It was like, this was about 2012. And 2013 is when I got the PhD. Social media was really taking off then, homie. I don't know what year Instagram was founded, but it was probably around then. But Facebook was really the thing. Everybody was on Facebook, bitch. And listen, there was this whole thing, like a poll community. Ooh, I didn't know about that. Did not know about that, but mother found out, okay? I started to be on the Facebook, and I started seeing there was this whole poll community. I had found in my personal life that my, stripping and my pole dancing that I was doing also for fun, because I was back in love with that art form due to being involved in stripping again. It was turning some people off in my real life. I lost some friends that, and frankly, some of them people, they were real bitches about it, but look, I can get it too. Probably not the easiest person to like all the time. Anywho, I was taking pole videos of me pole dancing and shit, but I was taking some pictures of me in the dressing room too, and I was just chronicling, I was writing about my stripper life, but I couldn't post it on my normal Facebook for Lindsay Byron. If you see me keep looking like this, it's because it's like a family of squirrels and they violently throw these things, and they violently throw these. I couldn't post my pole dance videos on the Lindsay Byron profile, so I made a Finsta, Lux ATL. Social media was a pretty new thing. It had just become, see? Parker, come over here a little bit. Y'all don't need to see me get a concussion today. So, I made a Finsta, and I used the name Lux ATL. Yes, it was my stripper name. But it was also just a name I liked. Anywho, these videos started popping off, and my pole videos were popping off, and then I was writing about my stripper life, and like pretty passionately and pretty angrily too, and like anger, man, goes viral. Anger goes viral. I found that out a long time ago. So I was going viral as Lux ATL. And everybody was just like, got all these followers and shit. So then, I was thinking, well, I'm stripping my ass off, but I can do this shit forever. I was in mid-30s. It's pretty grim lifestyle. I do not advocate that y'all do that shit, by the way. I'll make a video about that some other time. Let me know in the comments if you want one. I thought, damn, bitch, you gotta find a way you gotta find a motherfucking career or something. So I said, how can I mobilize this Lux ATL thing that's got all this attention? There was no such thing as influencers that I knew of. I mean, nobody. It was not even a word. So I invented this workshop called Stripcraft. This was in the era of the pole community, which, by the way, is where I was going viral in. This niche community. This is important. A niche community of thousands of mostly women, 95% women. But like everybody knew everybody online. And there were rock stars, I'm gonna name a few. Felix Kane, Alethea Austin, Carol Helms, Cleo the Hurricane, Pantera, Michelle Minks. There were rock stars, and these rock stars were able to make a whole career and living off of this niche community. I was like, ooh, look at these bitches. They're thinking. They got it. See, these rock stars in the pole world, these subcultural rock stars, they were like touring workshops to different pole studios, and they were, judging competitions, and they were opening pole studios. That was initially the plan for me, by the way. So I invented a workshop called Stripcraft, and to my mind, and in fact I was correct, it answered a very obvious hole in the industry. Like, I was a stripper, and listen, dude, why are these normal-ass women pole dancing? Because they got this stripper fantasy. They want to feel this sexy shit. No shade. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. By the way, I understand the feeling. Clearly I had it. I said, look, we could teach all these tricks and shit, and then that's cool. And I like that. But I said, why don't I just cut the shit and give them some real deal stripper skills? More than that, I'm gonna give them the opportunity to pull their titties out in public. I'm gonna give them the opportunity to be sexy bitches, because I'm gonna tell them to. They're not gonna have to feel stupid. They're not gonna have to feel guilty. I'm gonna give them the reason, the excuse, the arena, the opportunity to be yelled for, to like have that experience. The one that you fantasize about, money being thrown on you. You're like Selma Hayek in that Dusk Till Dawn, except without the transformation into the monster vampire thing. Not that part, the hot part. So I want to just put that out there. So to advertise this concept, I created a video. Oh my God, it was shot on a seamless, sick wall, unprofessionally, but it looks so professional and beautiful. This was another instance of something going wildly viral. Funny enough, I just reposted a clip of this on my Instagram, which has been notoriously, shadow banned forever. And this clip has got almost 100,000 views. I've never had anything get that many views on the gram. It is wild. Anywho, this video was a hit. This sexy video of me giving people lap dances. Just as a stripper, I'm in my stripper gear. I'm living. It was like 4 or 5 different people that I picked up in various locations, strangers, picked them up at bars. I was like, hey, one dude I got from a skate park. Anyways, that video went viral AF. And everybody was sharing it, and they were like, damn, I gotta be like this. I gotta be like this bitch. Thank you. I appreciate the props. It was a magical time to be alive. I mean, I'm telling you, I was on top of the world. Thought I was somebody, bitch. I was. It might have went to my head a little bit, but that's neither here nor there. Anywho, because the video went so viral, and because the culture was set up as it was to support touring pole artists, that shit made me a pole star. In the earlier, I would say second generation of pole history. Your first generation being your Panteras. Indeed, you could even, let's say you're Alethea Austins. Let's say you're Carol Helms. I could speak on, I love that topic too, but there's folks who know pole history better than me, so Anywho, the industry was set up to support people like me. I saw that it was a possibility to become a touring pole star, and I did my best to figure out the formula of what it took. And I achieved that. From there, I started booking locations all over the world, pole studios, where I would drive for, I'd drive all day. I'd go teach a workshop for 2-3 hours, get in the car, drive to the next destination, do it all over again. I would do that for like months at a time. At times, I even took my whole family. At the time, it was just my husband and a young son. He was around 4 and 5 at this time. He's now 13, and my dog. We would just go all over the country. I mean, wow. And I was going all over the world and abroad. From that touring, I was then able to build a base of clients. Like, I engaged with, hundreds of women worldwide personally, in person. And Stripcraft is such a great workshop that they were, I was able to like get them to kind of fall in love with the brand, and I was still stripping at the time. But it was during this time that my earnings on tour began to eclipse my earnings in the strip club. So I saved $10,000, which took quite some time, and to me was a fucking fortune at that time. Well, by the way, hey, anybody got 10 grand they'd like to give me right now? Because that still seems like a whole shit ton of money. Because it is. I think you could maybe buy a loaf of bread with that nowadays in 2023. I was burnt out on stripping. I saved 10 grand from stripping to invest into Stripcraft. At this point, I was invited to be in a competition called Miss Pole Dance America, which was a major honor, and to help me fund the production of my piece. I was like, yeah, all these broads all over the world, they'd be loving Stripcraft big time. What if I make a weekend out of it? I live out here in the South, bro. You can rent a cabin in the mountains, pretty big place, and it won't like kill your budget. So I did that. I rented a big cabin in the mountains, invited a bunch of broads. I sold tickets at an absurdly low price. I called it Strip Cabin, and I produced my show that way. Turned a light bulb on for me. And from there, I started producing retreats. Strip Cabin, Strip Cabana, Strip Castle, Strip Club in New Orleans, Strip Club in Iceland. We're about to go to Spain. I mean, I could go on and on. In short, it was at that time I was able to retire from stripping. And I said, well, I'm making more money touring Stripcraft. I just did this event, Strip Cabin, and it made a few bucks. Can I take it up a level? Can I make it much nicer? And can I charge, more and make this something that could be like maybe a source of income? The answer, yes, I could. And that was 6-7 years ago. Since then, the retreats have gotten more jank, more expensive, bigger, better.
That my best friend, she a real bad got her own money, she don't need no.
This has all been a long-winded way of saying the following. I went from being a stripper to a CEO by figuring out a way to sell this person that I was to a more congenial clientele that would provide for a much chiller, less stressful lifestyle. I often joke to my friend, my homegirl Melody, when I'm talking about, being out here hustling, trying to move product. I always say to her, like, I'm in these streets hoeing. I'm out here hoeing. I'm out here hoeing. I say that as a good-natured joke, but the truth remains, many of the skills that I developed as a stripper have absolutely 100% translated to the business that I run. Of course, there's the obvious. I'm sexy dancing, I'm teaching sensual movement. Yes, but that's the fucking surface. The skills that have really come in handy from my stripper life have been social skills. They say be interested, not interesting. The skills that were able to buy me clients in the club. Making people fucking feel good. Showing people a good time. Being a ray of light in somebody's day. That world is just a stressful ass place. Everybody's pissed off all the time. I did not want to be another pissed off bitch freaking people out. When people come to the strip club, they want a happy, relaxed escape. They want to feel a type of way. They might even want to feel a little sexy. They might want to feel a little desirable. They might want to have a bit of a wild time. Well, guess what? Women want all those things too. That's who I want to work for, and that is who I work for. If you are watching this as a fan of mine who's just interested in my personal journey, thank you for listening to my story. If you are watching this as a current dancer, stripper, wondering how the F to to move on from this career, I want to tell you this, dog. If you've had any success as a stripper, you can do it. Stay resourceful. Be open-minded. Think of new ways of being. Be brave. Be bold. Save your money. But hey, listen, I said this wasn't a prescription, and I don't want to give that because I can't tell you what to do. I'm just telling you what I did. I appreciate you listening, and I appreciate to those of you who are my clients, thank you for the life that you've given me. Thank you for enabling me to quit stripping. I'm 42 now, bro. I obviously, like, ain't nobody that would hire me. I mean, just kidding. Everyone would hire me. I love you. See you next time. Goodbye.